Hi, everyone, and welcome to what is now and what is going to be for the remainder of it a wet Wednesday, the 18th. We were a little slow getting in on the action, showers a little slow to get into the area, but now that they have, they're going to continue to hang around. We're still talking about a good soaking rain throughout the remainder of your evening. We're also talking about some showers that will be pretty much gone by tomorrow. Cooler air on the back side of things, 60 tomorrow. We're still talking about temperatures. Now an adjusted daytime high of 37 for your Sunday, and still talking about a little wintry mix possible as well. Tonight's headlines will include details from a Johnson County Sheriff's deputy about the latest animal cruelty case they are investigating, more on that school scam that I referred to on yesterday's program, and some other headlines. A whole lot of things happening on our calendar and more. First off, I picked this report from the Floyd County Times, which had quoted Attorney Ned Pillersdorf and some other sources in relation to the Eric C. Kahn situation, which now appears as though Kahn's clients will have to continue to navigate through the system, the Social Security system, to secure their Social Security Administration benefits after the dismissal of a lawsuit in U.S. District Court just this Monday. It was in the U.S. District Judge in Multipar ruled against the former clients of the Floyd County attorney and granted a motion to dismiss, which had been filed by the Social Security Administration. Ned Pillersdorf from Prestonsburg, the attorney who represents several former clients of Eric Kahn, filed the motion in July of this year. He, along with others, are aiding the legal defense of nearly 1,500 people who saw their benefits temporarily suspended due to a federal investigation against Kahn. Pillersdorf in the report said he was very disappointed, and they were hopeful today or tomorrow to be able to file an emergency appeal to the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. He also says that the judge, in his opinion, didn't address many of the arguments made and ignored references to an identical case that he cited in California. He says he alerted the court to the opinion, and they just ignored it. That, of course, from Pillersdorf, who also said the judge's opinion is that the 1,800 people can easily navigate through the Social Security Administration administrative review and then come back to the courts with their claims, and the vast majority of these people are not going to be represented. Most will basically default or just not show up, he says, is his fear. And he says that will be a catastrophic event for the economy in this area. He says this is a true humanitarian crisis. If we don't get something done, Floyd County will turn into Owsley County. He's referring to Owsley County as the poorest county in the entire nation, which as of 2013 had 37% of its population living below the poverty line. According to the court records in the matter of Cheryl Martin, according to the published report, and Robert Martin and others versus Carolyn Colvin, the acting commissioner of Social Security, Judge DePar stated that the plaintiffs could not seek redress from the courts until after the Social Security Administration had conducted their reviews. DePar also said the plaintiffs cannot prematurely obtain judicial review from the SSA's decision to reopen their cases. They have not exhausted their administrative remedies, and they do not qualify for any exceptions. He also states in his order, for the courts to intercede, there must first be a review by the Social Security Administration. He adds that this process can be harmful to the individual. However, he says it's a necessary cost of massive, complex health and safety programs like Social Security. So he granted the Social Security Administration's motion to dismiss and rendered all pending motions as moot. As for other developments in the case, the motion filed earlier in July to stop hearings planned by the Social Security Administration was in response to that administration's plans to hold hearings in September to review the cases of Eric C. Kahn, his former clients, due to the ongoing federal fraud investigation against the attorney from Floyd County. Those hearings are underway. Some have begun, some are still in the process, some have already been wrapped up, according to that published report. Yesterday, and I'll repeat it in part in a few moments when we get to the community calendar because I had it on there, I spoke to you and I reached out to him. We haven't been able to make contact with each other as of yet, but a viewer had phoned in a reward that was being offered after his vehicle was the subject of theft. Someone came onto his property over the course of the weekend, literally jacked his car up, stole the tires and wheels, and left it on blocks or stands or something of that nature. He gave us a brief description that I'll relate to you in just a few moments, and he also left an 884 number, which indicates, of course, that it's in the southern part of the county. I've also been able to confirm a somewhat similar investigation that's been opened by the Kentucky State Police. It's my understanding that Trooper Justin Wireman sought some assistance by local emergency personnel, that being the rescue squad, in an effort to transport him to a remote area of McGoffin County to follow up on a tip of a vehicle that had been discovered burned and apparently maybe stolen in that area and left basically in just total demise. It was said to have been a newer model Toyota pickup truck. It too had been jacked up, wheels and tires had been stolen, some other more expensive accessories or items were still in place on the truck, but then it had been burned and left just nothing more than a crispy hull, if you will. They were attempting to get the vehicle identification number from the vehicle and find out its owner. There was no open case that he was aware of, from what my understanding is, of a stolen vehicle matching that general description they had, but it was still general as it was barely recognizable at most. We'll have more on that on tomorrow's program, hopefully. More on the case for Mr. Conley and his vehicle theft on our calendar in just a few moments. Well, we're just a day closer now since I saw you last and only a couple of days away. Just to remind everyone that Johnson County schools will be getting out early, of course, because most everyone in Johnson County will be taking to the road for one team or another this Friday night. And, of course, that is as the Paintsville Tigers are on the road to Paris. Johnson Central going to Scott High School. Johnson County Elementary Schools are going to dismiss at 12:30. Johnson County Middle and High at 12:45. Paintsville Elementary is going to dismiss at 1:50. And Paintsville High School will get out at 2 o'clock in an effort and making the opportunity for everyone to have a little extra time to venture to their respective gridiron championship game in those two counties, as all the teams from Johnson County are still in the football playoffs. We wish them well. We'll, of course, keep you up to date. Our headlines will begin, as well as a full community calendar and a lot happening tomorrow and throughout the rest of the week. We'll get to those stories and more after this. I've covered a few animal cruelty cases from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, one involving horses, some others involving mostly dogs, I believe. This time it's another canine, and actually two that are the subject of this report. The incident goes back to this past Saturday, I'm told, when Johnson County Sheriff's Deputy Byron Fairchild responded to what he said was an anonymous call of a possible case of animal cruelty at a residence, 261 Wolf Pen Branch in Van Leer, to be specific. He says the caller had advised the Sheriff's Department that the dogs were in bad health and one may have already died from starvation and neglect. From what I understand, and as you will hear in the following interview that we did just a few moments ago, upon Fairchild's arrival at the scene, he did observe one dog on a chain, maybe 2 feet in length, tied to a cinder block. He could find no food, no water, no adequate shelter anywhere near. The dog appeared to be very emaciated and in very poor condition, but alive, which was more than he could say for the second animal he discovered. Fairchild says that when he got closer, he noticed that the dog had a humpback, and he spoke with witnesses who lived nearby who said the dog had been raised in a small rabbit cage, and they believe that's why the dog's back had grown the way it did. And lying on the ground just a few feet away from the little humpback dog was another dog that appeared to have died of starvation tied to its chain.
I seen another dog which was dead. It appeared that it starved to death. Pretty recent, within the 24 hours from me responding to the scene. It was still tied to the chain in the backyard of the residence at 261 Wolf Pen Branch. The homeowner would not come outside, although neighbors said that they seen her in the house. She wouldn't even come outside for us. A lot of neighbors were complaining about this. I interviewed all of those as witnesses to the crime. And then I actually obtained an arrest warrant to the county attorney's office in reference to animal cruelty in the second degree. And we've been trying to serve that warrant on her with no luck. She's just not come to the door. She's just, got out of here. And that's why we wanted to get a little public's help to try to maybe get some tips on where she might be. She also, after posting this, made a call to our sheriff's office saying that she wasn't the owner of the dogs. And we know that, to be a lie. They were right in her backyard, and she obviously knew there's two dogs starving to death in her backyard, just feet from her back door. So she's still liable because the dogs are on her property.
The owner of the dogs, 24-year-old Amanda Adkins, has been charged in an arrest warrant through the Sheriff's Department and through the Johnson County District Court with cruelty to animals in the second degree, and is currently considered to be on the run after several attempts, as you heard Deputy Fairchild, have been made to serve the arrest warrant. So they're hoping someone out there might know the location of Amanda Adkins, and if you do, please contact the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, 789-3411. Sheriff Price says that if you have any knowledge of any illegal activity as well, always feel free to call the same number. That also brought me to pose one last question to the deputy, and that was as to whether or not he thought that maybe individuals throughout that community and others were a little more hesitant to call and report acts of animal cruelty than they were various other crimes, such as drug activity, based on the nature of the situation and the animals that were involved.
People are a little shy of it because they don't really know what they can and can't do or what we can and can't do. But a case like this where it's just obvious neglect, we encourage them to call all the time because we can actually seize that dog. And like we did in this situation, it was in danger of death or serious injury, and if we didn't take it out of there, it's obvious the other dog right beside it had already died, so it would have probably died as well within a few days. So yeah, we encourage anybody to just report it. I mean, we can check it out. If it's nothing, it's nothing. That happens every day with any other type of call.
As for what has been referred to, humpback dog that you see here, it was taken in by a rescue group and immediately received food, water, and the required medical attention and care. And what a face. We'll be right back with further headlines after just a few words. Like I said a moment ago, a whole lot happening on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, beginning with this announcement. I actually may have some other information. Someone had taken this message for me, and it appears as though this might involve a situation in the Sagersville business and not something that happened at the residence of Donald Conley, who is offering a reward for information for the return of his tires and wheels, which were literally stolen off of his vehicle. I'll get some more information and make sure it's more correct. He is offering a reward, and his phone number is 884-5322. They're 17-inch low-profile tires and wheels, and I'll get more on that. My apologies. I think I just had some details that were left out. This just in, tomorrow is the last day for sign-ups for the Miss and Master Christmas Sparkle Pageant. That's right, Sagersville Renaissance. You can sign up tomorrow evening, 6 to 8. The pageant has categories for all ages, boys and girls up to 12. Divisions for Miss Teen Christmas Sparkle are ages 13 to 16. A Miss Christmas Sparkle for ages 17 to 24. And contestants are, of course, urged to wear any type of Christmas-themed outfits or winter wear. The pageant will be held December the 4th at the Sagersville Grade School. It's only $40 to enter, and directors have some beautiful Christmas trophies and crowns to give away. This is sign-ups tomorrow, though, and your last chance, 6 to 8 at the Sagersville Renaissance Center. The Women's Cancer Support Group in McGoffin County has a meeting set for tomorrow evening, 6 o'clock. They meet in the back of the Lloyd M. Hall Community Center in downtown Sagersville. You go in through the daycare opening or the entry there. Every cancer survivor is invited to attend. That's the Women's Cancer Support Group in McGoffin County tomorrow at 6. A reminder, the McGoffin County Quilt Guild has a bake sale and chili dinner this Friday. Big meal chili sandwiches, that's peanut butter and syrup, of course. Crackers and 2 cookies for just $5, and they're selling baked goods, fried apple pies, candies, cookies, and more. If you can, call them tomorrow and get your order in. It helps them know how much they're going to have to prepare. 349-3216. You can come in, dine with them Friday, pick it up, or they will be delivering to a lot of folks as well. 349-3216. And starting at 10 o'clock in the morning for the actual race, the Run Rudolph 5K, hosted by the Sagersville Hometown Christmas Committee, will be starting at the McGoffin County High School. They can have you do have the chance to register. An early bird registration will be at 8:30 Saturday morning. If you have any questions, call 794-6561, 496-7956. And remember, they're giving away prizes and awards for those wackiest Christmas costumes by runners in all divisions. It's going to be a fun one. And don't forget the interactive murder mystery dinner theater that I spoke about last night with Terry Salyer. It's at the Oscar this Saturday, 6:30. A few tickets remaining. Get yours locally here in McGoffin County at the True Value Store and the McGoffin County Extension Office. And get your announcement to us. We'll tell everyone about it. And these are the various ways to send it in. Mail, phone, fax, email, Facebook. Programming is on yournewstoday.com the following day. And we'll wrap up announcements at this time with funeral services brought to you by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. And with it, one reminder of services to be held tomorrow at 1 o'clock for 96-year-old Marie Salyer Marshall of Royalton, who passed away earlier this week, preceded in death by her husband Willard. She's survived by sons Larry James, Roger Dwayne, Gary Sheridan, and Oscar Deverell Marshall, and daughters, Lenora Stevens, Sue Ann Whitaker, Carol Jean Smith, Frida Allen, Norma Faye Salyer, Janet Ruth Gamble, Joyce Oliver, and Vonda Gearhart. Services tomorrow at 1 at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Yesterday, I only mentioned briefly a situation that I had been alerted to, and I found out some more today, and I found out that it's not been detected in McGoffin County as of yet, but fearful that it may, another superintendent of schools, I believe it was, forwarded the following information to McGoffin County School Superintendent Stanley Holbrook about a scam which appears to be targeting a lot of school districts across Kentucky based on the comments that were on a couple of pages thereafter that were forwarded to us. But it's a company called School Publishing, which claims to be selling advertisement to people in various school districts, to businesses, at a very significant price, and promise that the schools will benefit from the money, with no ad ever being printed from what they can tell, and certainly no schools benefiting from any of the proceeds. This appears to be a copy of an invoice. Taylor County Schools forwarded this to several school districts, including that in McGoffin County. It will come into focus here a little bit, I guess, in just a few moments. And this was a thank you for their participation in the Taylor County School District section of the Kentucky School Guide. It was called $995, I think. Was billed to the school system for advertising that was never done. And by the pages of comments that were attached, and this print is much smaller than what I had expected, nevertheless, it appears as though a lot of folks have been scammed, attempted to follow up, and gotten nowhere getting their money back or seeing any advertisement or any proceeds benefit any of the schools which participated. Roger Cook from Taylor County said that this company was called School Publishing. They're selling advertisements to people and businesses in his district, claiming that they're going to benefit from the money, but the company never does the ad. They never see the money again. And other states and other school districts, this is not just Kentucky but elsewhere, have also had the same experience. So this is just a warning to all local and area businesses. A company known as School Publishing should be vetted very carefully before you try to or think of supporting their cause, which they claim is supporting that of school districts. By the way, the McGoffin County Board of Education meets in regular session tomorrow night. Principals from all schools will be presenting their plans of attack, if you will, in improving test scores. There's also several other items on the agenda. We'll have a camera there and a report to follow. And showers, good segue there, are continuing to follow the same pattern to the north and to the east. And as of right now, I've got 0.3 of an inch of rain, 0.7 for the entire month of November. So a little rain was needed. We're probably going to pick up close to an inch, I think, for most everyone. Some folks a little more, some folks a little less. No storms associated with this system, but some showers that will continue through the overnight. We will dry up tomorrow. Winds have started to die down from what we have seen over the past 24 hours. They will continue at a slower pace, if you will. And like I said, things will dry up, cool off for tomorrow, and then as we get closer to the weekend, while another storm has our attention to possibly throw down a little wintry mix, we know it's going to throw down some cooler air. That cooler air following a nighttime low of 51, 62 and falling right now if you're catching the end of the early show. Showers continuing, as we saw. South wind 7 to 9 miles per hour. Nothing as stiff as what we have seen over the past day or day and a half or so. Nevertheless, we will see those winds continue to die down. We're talking tonight showers likely mainly before midnight, and then, of course, that south wind 7 to 9. I think another half inch of rain is a good bet for a lot of us. Total of close to an inch, I think, across the board. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 60. Southwest winds around 8 miles per hour, becoming calm in the evening after starting to lower to about 5. Mostly clear skies tomorrow night, a low of 30. Friday, cooler, 53, sunny, still clear. Low of 33 that night, 20 degrees off the high, partly cloudy skies. Will dry up. Thursday will dry up. Friday will cool off both days, and that trend of cooling will continue somewhat into the weekend. we're going to kind of level off on your Saturday with a daytime high of 54. We'll see a mostly sunny day. We'll see lows, though, that will get your attention at 24 degrees for nighttime lows on your Saturday. And with that, we have a chance of rain showers before 11 p.m. after a 30% in the day, a 30% chance of some rain that night, a slight chance of some snow showers after 11 when we finally get down below freezing and ultimately fall to 24 degrees. 30% chance of some precipitation. Could be a little mix. Not enough to stick, I don't think, for anyone in the viewing area as of right now, but just enough to remind us, hey, actually, we had snow on the ground, I think, exactly this day last year, if I'm not mistaken. And Sunday, that's when the cold air really takes hold. 37 and 21 for your high and low, mostly sunny skies. Monday, we start to perk up 42, 50 by your Tuesday. And I am late for Andrew's ball game, out of time, but so appreciative you could be here. I have a full day of news that starts very early tomorrow. You'll want to tune in and see what that is, as always, for more of your news today. For now, thank you for watching, and enjoy your wet Wednesday evening. Good night, everybody, and see you next time.